It's cozy in here, isn't it?
Yeah.
I feel like making jokes.
So hi everyone. I'm in a different location because my internet suddenly stopped working, and Will has very kindly allowed me to come and be in her space.
I'm quiet.
And she's on the bed laughing. So yeah, and I'm amazed that even this worked, because I've had problems with the internet, I've had problems with Google Hangouts. It's just not been a technical week for me. So before I start, I have a talk on the 25th of March here in Brighton. I have a talk in Manchester, and you can find out about those on my website. I also now have a book, which you can buy on Amazon. You can see that on my website. And what other things? Yeah, you can, if you want to have private Skypes with me, you can get in touch with me about that. If you feel like donating anything, you can do that on my website. And thank you to those who have donated. I really appreciate that. And what else? Yes, I've turned off comments on my YouTube channel. So you can't comment on there anymore, I'm afraid, which is a shame because I really enjoyed the interaction, but I get some really horrible comments and sometimes even some violent comments, violence messages. So, and I really just don't have time for that. So I've turned them off completely. So that's that. And if you want to ask questions, you can ask in the YouTube chat. And I'm going to be here for an hour. Yeah. So, get this tea that Will made. Huge.
Right.
Size of my head. So, what's being spoken of is literally just what's happening. That's all there is. That's all there is. Everything else is just in the imagination. It's a story. It's a sense of perspective of my life and my future and my past. And in that apparent reality of a me, it makes up stories, makes up a future. It makes up something that's going towards to feel better, to complete itself, to find freedom, to find enlightenment. All the time missing that what is happening is the freedom. Is the freedom. This table is the freedom. This computer is the freedom. Sounds, thoughts, feelings. Oh my God, here we go. Right, let's turn this off. So people get upset that I say that. Not everybody, a few people get upset that I say this. And I don't know why, because what else is there? Is there not this? Maybe if I spoke about not this. But it is just, this is everything. This is the whole of the life. And it can't be anything outside of it. There can be a looking for something outside of it. There can be a sense of a moving towards something that appears to be not this. And that's the trick, all the time, all the time. It was always just, that was just what was happening. It's a fruitless search. It's really a road to nowhere. No chat. Yeah, there's chat. There you go. Everyone's just been quiet. So this is all the spiritual paths, all the spiritual practices. There's nothing wrong with those things. They're just another happening, another appearance. But they are fruitless. There's no levels. There's no closer to what is. That would be impossible. What would get closer to what is? It is totally immersive. What is appearing is the total immersion of life. You can't get closer to it. That sense of I need to get closer to it is an illusory appearance of being somebody. The sense that I am somebody and that I need to get closer to what is. When that sense of being somebody is what is. You can never get closer. You can actually never even get further away. You can't be further or closer to what is happening. Hey, Wa. Can you hear me okay? Let me just check. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I've got YouTube on, but it's massive delay between your speaking and.
Oh,
it's like,
yeah, that's normal.
It's like a minute and a half.
It's about a minute. Yeah, that's normal. Okay. So, wow, what do you think happens at dead or after death? The death of the body, because there isn't anyone to die. There is no death, actually. There's the death of appearances, but there's nobody in those appearances. So I don't know what actually happens. I don't know what will happen when this body dies. I can't find any death. I can only find the end of appearances. Simon, no apples or pears, just fruitless. Well, there's no pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. It's just this is the pot of gold. This is it. This is it. And it's amazing. It's amazing, but it can't be recognized how amazing it is when there's always this constant perpetual looking for something that isn't this. You can't even find it because it's so immersive. So you can't find it because it already is everything. Yes, the death of the body. I don't know. I don't know. No idea. I mean, it is in a sense already dead. What is in a sense is already dead. It's already the end. This is always the end, but it's also always the beginning. Because the sense of self seems to see everything in this kind of timeline as a progression. But it's not like that. That's not the actual living reality. The actual living reality is there is just what is happening. Everything else is just stories or memories or projections into a so-called future. Yes, a common theme is religion or spirituality because I think it's very fearful because the sense of self thinks that it is going to die. And that's what it thinks it is. It thinks that the I thinks that I am all there is. And when I die, there isn't going to be anything else. But it's not like that, because the I, sense of I, is of quite an unstable structure. It's a construct. And it's quite unstable. It's not always there. So when it's not there, that's actually what it's like not to have a sense of self there. You can't actually remember it. Hi, Darnosaurus Rex. I know, it's good now, isn't it? When this is seen, does seeking stop completely, or is it just changed somehow? Seeking just stops completely. It just becomes something that seemed to happen, something that seemed to happen. Yeah, there's no more seeking. There might be plans being made, like flights booked, but there's no seeking for an end. That just totally goes. There's no end. It's total free fall, total boundless appearances happening, dancing, singing, all happening all at once. It's the absolute everything. It's like nothing changes, but everything changes. It's seen from a totally different perspective. It's seen from a totally natural perspective, for want of a better word. It's not really a perspective, but it's a totally natural sense of everything is being. And it's very recognizable when it happens. When that sense of self is no longer there, it's very recognizable that what was apparently sought for was always the case. Which is really beautiful, because it's not some sort of special thing that seems to happen. It's just it's just so familiar. It's so obvious. It's like almost like, wow, how did I miss it? What was in place of the natural reality was there was a sense of looking for, a sense of, I am here and I feel separate from everything around me, and everyone else is separate because they're all separate too. When that's gone, it's just really natural. Hi, Free. Example, I want to enjoy something in the future. At least I believe that while I still believe in having an ego, now I'm getting the chance to lose that ego. The ego is so afraid, but not to die. It is afraid not being able to enjoy what was planned for the future. Does that make sense? Yeah, but that's like a story that's made up about something that isn't happening. Now I'm getting a chance to lose that ego. But you can still look forward to things in the future without a sense of seeking or sense of self. At the same time, you are aware that it's just it's not real, but nothing in that sense is real. It's all enjoyed. It's all enjoyed. Stories of what happened last week, some funny story or some crappy story, or or talking about something that's going to happen in the future. That's all enjoyed, but it's from no self. It's just what seems to be happening. It knows there's a knowledge that it's not real. not being able to enjoy what was planned for the future. Well, planning happens, and you can't predict whether you'll enjoy something or not. You know, when you plan to go on holiday, you don't know if you're going to enjoy it. It might be totally screwed up by something, and then it's all spoiled. So it's not a predictable thing anyway. Some nights ago, I thought I was losing my ego, and I was so afraid. Then I thought, what I had planned I will lose as well. Yeah. Yeah, thought I was losing my ego. Well, that I thought I am losing and the ego are actually the same thing. There might be a sense that something's falling away, and the thing that's falling away might be fearful. But it's only fearful in that kind of construct of a self. Because when it's actually fallen away, there is nothing to be fearful. There's no one to fear that. So then I thought, what I had planned I will lose as well. No, nothing changes in that sense. Holidays still go on. I mean, what do people plan for in the future? I don't know. Stuff still happens. Planning still happens. So will I still live and enjoy what I plan? Yeah, of course. What I'm talking about here is a sense of separation, which feels separate and then feels incomplete and believes itself to be really who I am, and worries about things and just makes up loads of stories about itself, and it can only feel better once these stories in place and once that story's in place, and you know, and the ultimate story of enlightenment, once that's happened, then everything can be really okay and I can finally rest. That's the seeker, that's the separate self. Everything else is just what is enjoying life. I mean, here life is enjoyed way more in a sense. I mean, it's much more chilled. There's nothing that's looked for. In that sense, it's relaxing, but it's not relaxing for a sense of somebody. It's just relaxing. And sometimes it's not relaxing, you know, when someone's possibly there's an aggravation with another human or with work, there can be aggravation happen, but it's free to be that. There's nothing that feels I am complete because I feel those things. That's the seeker. So when that what you call the ego, whether that sense of I am someone is not there, life is totally enjoyed. Or not, depending.
Oh, sorry.
You know, so it depends on the propensity of the human. How can I overcome the fear of losing the ego? As I said, I thought I am losing it some nights ago and stopped that. At least I thought I stopped it because I did not space to my fear. I think I know what you mean. It's not that you lose the ego. It's just that that construct cannot be a reality anymore. Yeah, give space to my fear. I thought that's what you meant. If there's fear appearing, there's fear appearing, but actually there's when that sense of self starts to collapse, it itself can't do anything about it. It will struggle and try to come back because it's a survivor in that sense. Hi, Roy. Hi, Prem. At least I thought it stopped because I did not give space to my fear. It will just, I mean, it might just be that it's in the process of falling away and coming back and falling away and coming back. It can just happen like that. And there's nothing that actually anything can be done about it. It's like the death of the body. No one can choose to stop it dying. It'll just die when it dies. The same as same as anything that goes out of life, when hi Ella, like when you fall in love or fall out of love, there's nothing that can control that. You can't suddenly decide to fall back in love with somebody. And that's a good analogy for the sense of being somebody falling away. There's actually no choice in it. It's just it just happens like that. It's just that whole structure just falls away, And and going to non-duality talks or whatever, whatever resonates in that sense, can actually deconstruct or point to the non-reality of the structure of I am separate. See, the I am separate feeling or reality bubble is thinking that it's going to know its own deconstruction, but it won't. It will never know it, because it is the deconstruction of it, so it won't know it. All that's left is simply what is. Frey, I cannot do anything actively to help losing the ego. No. That there isn't a separate person who's real who can actually do anything in that sense. I know there is no one who could help. So just be, and what happens, happens, right? Sorry for my bad English. It's not. I'm not a native English speaker. No, it's fine. I can see through the language. No, because this life doesn't belong to anybody. This separate self feels like this life belongs to me. This life belongs to me. And because it can't control it, it becomes unhappy. Hey, Raphael. It can't, this sense of self is my life and I want it my way. And I want this, and this in place. And I'm going to try and keep it all together so I feel safe and I'm in control of my life. And it's not the case. This sense of self doesn't actually have a life. It's just a total illusory appearance. Like one big spoiler. So my enormous tea. You do look through those eyes, so it's pretty convincing. You do look through this. No, there's just looking out of the eyes. But only when looking out of the eyes is thought about. Actually think about it. If you look at it, you'll probably see that's the same. It only feels like there's someone looking out of the eyes. Because you feel there's someone looking out of your eyes, you're convinced there's someone looking out of other people's eyes. But there's not. There's just looking out of the eyes happening. But only when it's remembered. Otherwise, it's just whatever's happening. You don't go around noticing that there's someone looking out of the eyes all day. In fact, I think that most of the time, The sense of eyes always seems to be in the head, thinking and feeling and da-da-da. It's not actually thinking, it's looking out of the eyes. It just believes that. It feels like a scent, it's centered in the body. But it's not the case, because it's not always there. Hi, Annabelle. Just keep saying to yourself, who am I? Why? Doesn't do anything. Who am I? Who am I? Well, in the end, you're just going to say, I'm me. That's what it always comes down to. Or I am awareness, which is still the me. Or I am the witness, still the me. It's all like a different aspects of me, of feeling separate. Awareness is still a feeling of separation. It's not saying there's anything wrong in that, because life appears as it appears. It has no judgment whether it appears as being a me or not. But to that separate self, to say to itself, who am I? Well, it's like self-inquiry. Because even if you say to yourself, who am I? I'm awareness. It's still what's happening. It's just what's happening, and you can't. Holding on to the sense of a sort of disassociated sense of me, which is awareness or witness, can't last unless you go and sit in a cave for 25 years and sit there, hold on to this thing called awareness. It's pointless, because it's still what is happening. Hi, GML. I know who GML is. It's his fake name. Why can life not simply be just nice to everyone? Why can I not see just happy people? Because that's not how it is. It's not I that has any control over what is appearing. Life is just appearing. It's nothing to do with the sense of self. Sense of self has no control whatsoever. It's totally illusory. It's actual. I'm not saying that it's an illusion. It's actual because it is felt. It is sensed. I'm not saying it's not there, but it's not a person who lives and dies, because it doesn't. When it's not there, life still is. When your ego dissolved, did your friends or family feel a change, the difference? My daughter did. And I lost a few friends. And gained a few friends. Like Will. My family, I don't think so. I don't know. My daughter did. She came in one day and she sat next to me and she said, "What's changed? Something's changed." Yeah. Yeah.
What did you say?
I can't remember. I don't remember. It was quite a while ago. No, I don't. I mean, I don't talk about it with my family. What would I say? just get on with them how I always got on with them. Probably get on with them better in a way. No story. Yeah. Sense your own presence. Don't know what to say to that. The character of Lisa is actually very ordinary and not in the slightest bit spiritual. She doesn't go and sit cross-legged on beaches and all that sort of stuff. What is left when the body falls? Don't know. I don't know. I don't know what the appearance is. I don't know. I don't know. Okay. Bodies just die. See, Raphael. Did you change for yourself some old habits? No, not really. No, the body just carried on kind of the same. I mean, still likes tea, still likes sci-fi, still likes playing games, still likes traveling, still likes coffee. Became less all those kind of old ideas about gurus and people being enlightened and stuff like that totally fell away. It was like suddenly, like that whole screen was just taken off, and it was clear that no one can be enlightened. It's crazy, huh? No one can be enlightened. There's nobody enlightened. It's just all already enlightened. It's already it. It's already it. That's the most amazing kind of irony. When that whole story falls away, it's seen that what is everything, and that there are no people to become enlightened. That whole idea about people being somebody with something it just all completely crumbles. I guess that's the most wonderful and freeing thing. There's no longer a me and a them, and they have something I don't have, and I have to get something that they have, when there isn't anybody who has anything, because there isn't anybody. There's nobody who has anything. Just stories that some people have stories that I have something, but all that completely goes. That's one thing that changed, actually. GML. Okay, I ask another way. Why are there unhappy people? Why does life need suffering people? Walk like an Egyptian. You're funny, Joe. Why does life need suffering people? There's no reason for anything to be as it is. There's nothing that can work out the whole of this appearance. It's too huge. It's a vast, boundless thing. that isn't known, can't be known. It's totally unknown. I've got no idea why anything is as it is. I don't know why wood is wood. I don't know why heat is heat. I don't know why people are unhappy or happy. I have no idea. It just is. It just is that way.
I remember a very corny pop song where this guy sings, "It always hurts to wonder why." It actually does.
It does hurt to
Yeah.
wonder why.
It's like wondering about why something is beautiful.
Yeah, or why
So
something, I mean, wondering about anything, you know, that you can't know. That's just unknowable. Why is the sky the sky? What the hell? Who would, I mean, how would you ever know that? It's so astounding. It's astounding. If you focus on just the bad things, it's just like, why is it like that? Why does everybody die?
But nothing is knowable.
No, nothing. Nothing. I don't know why there's hair. Why there's space. It's all actually it's all one energy appearing as different things, including misery and joy. I deny it, says GML. I'm not enlightened. Neither am I. Probably never will be. Separation is real. You have no proof of unity. Separation is real. Separation is real. Well, you might feel like that. Yeah. Yeah. You have no proof of unity. No proof of unity. How can you prove? You don't need to prove it. It's just really clear that this is it. And it's all what is happening. And it's that you can't separate anything out as one appearance. No proof of unity. Well, I mean, what's the point? You can't prove to something that feels separate that there's unity. Unity is either obvious or it's not. Frey, do you think we have nowadays more people without ego than longer ago? I mean, do you think a parallel transformation of mankind in total is happening? That might be a story that's happening, an appearance that's happening, but I don't really know. I guess there's more in the story. There's more possibility of it. But also I have to say that there's no end goal to it. If there's transformation, there's just transformation. I don't actually really know. It wouldn't make any difference. It only makes a difference in the story. Obviously, we all love the idea of a utopia on Earth. I mean, here the world is just the story of life, including, well, it includes everything. And the world right now is just a story that's happening in my head. I don't actually know what the world really is. It's too huge to pin down. Joe, as soon as something happens, it's in the past. Apparently. Yeah. Yeah, in a way. It isn't, it isn't. GML, I had never problems with the sky. I have problems with suffering. Yeah, well, some people might have the sky making them suffer. I know what you're saying. The sense of self is suffering. That is the suffering. We were talking about that subject today, weren't we?
Mm-hmm.
Sense of self being suffering. But the actual events are not suffering them themselves. is the sense of wanting to get out of it, wanting to resolve it, want to make it better. The sense of, it's happening to me, it's my suffering, these are my problems, these are my feelings, this is my life, and my life isn't good enough. I'm not good enough. That's the suffering. It's not the actual things in themselves. This is one energy appearing just like greatest torturing machine for the people. Just ask them. For some people, yeah. Not all people. I wouldn't say that's true. Do I understand you right that there is no purpose to anything? Do you believe that there is a creator of all? This is all, this is everything. Do I understand there is no purpose of anything? The purpose is, the only purpose is the purpose itself. Like you get out a set of paints with the purpose of painting. The purpose, so there can be a sense of purpose in the story, in the appearance. But ultimately, from here, that there is no ultimate purpose. It already is the completion. It already is the ultimate purpose, what is happening. But it doesn't have a goal or a going anything or going anywhere. Do you believe there is a creator? This is all, this is everything. Not as a separate being, no. I would say, for want of any words at all, which is, it's possible to say what this is, but it is ultimately intelligent. But that's such a substandard word. Ludmilla. Suffering is a constant resistance. Self is a contact resistance of life, resistance of self. Yeah. Well, the self can't help but resist. It's all it ever does. It's just always in conflict because it feels separate. It is always in conflict with everything on every level. Frey, could it be a computer program and we are in it and we only see what is in the program? Yeah, possibly. Who knows? Who knows? I don't know. I don't know anything. But I love the idea of AI because it feels like the self is like an AI, like an artificial intelligence that exists within this one intelligence. I think it's almost, I love the idea that it's possible that computers could become intelligent. Because if a human being can be taught to have self-awareness, because it's a taught thing, it's very complex, but it's a possibility that so could computers. That's why I love AI films and TV. It's brilliant. It has such parallels with what's been spoken of. Don't know if anyone has seen Westworld and Humans, and some of the dialogue and some of the script, it has so many parallels of what is spoken about how this sense of identity, this sense of self is a construct that is believed in by itself. It's a self-contained construct that we actually didn't have when we were born, that came into appearance when we were older. I actually have a memory of it not being there at all. I like the idea of being in a computer program. Wouldn't that be a surprise? Doesn't make any difference. So we have different levels, and love is a goal. So we have different levels, and love is the goal. Different levels. Don't buy into it, says Joe. So we have different levels. No, there is this sense of we living in bodies, having different levels, is a projection from a sense of self, that there is other people in different bodies who have levels. It's not true. Love is the goal. I don't know if love is the goal. I mean, it depends what you mean by love. Human love is different from just what is, which is ultimately the giving, is the giving. It's such a giving. Everything that appearing is there's such a giving in it, even when it feels like it's not. Such a purity. Well, this is, in a sense, this what is happening is the goal, and there is no other goal. There is no other anything. Even if you look for yourself, you'll see that there isn't anything but what is. You can have a go at looking for something that isn't, but you won't find it, because it'll only be found as a thought or an idea or a concept. Frey, when the body is dead, is your experience going to a new body? Well, no, because there is no body in the body. This is life experiencing itself, in a sense. I don't like using these words because they sound as Lisa's just appearing in this. Nobody has this body. This body doesn't belong to anybody. This body belongs to someone just as much as this table does.
No, it belongs to me.
What? Oh, apparently the table belongs to Will.
We're gonna think stuff.
A life to stay in the a new life to stay in the computer idea. We laugh. Nobody's body will die. Nobody's body will die. If this body dropped dead right now, it'd just be the body dropping dead. Oh, thank you, Raphael. GML, why can I not feel this giving? Yeah, it's because it's looked for in parts. Separation looks for other things. Because it feels like a thing, it only looks for other things. It's trying to find giving as a thing. Because what is happening here is a voice trying to explain what is inexplicable. But it's so simple too. Why am I not grateful for the things that this life gives me? I don't know. You are that life. The sense of self is the life. The sense of not having a self is the life. The birds is life. Even the war is life. Even the feeling crap about the war is life. Everything is life. Life is constantly giving. It's the ultimate giving, and it's the ultimate taker away of things. Take her away. That's terrible English. I'm not going to apologize. Take her away. See what happens when I come here to do this. Whoa. How is the human body not separate? Even if you take the sense of self out of the equation, it is still limited to the body's senses. Yeah, but senses are just senses. Light is light. A sense of space. They're just senses. Is the sense of space separate from the body? Where's the boundary in it? There's it's only the sense of self that feels there is a boundary where the skin ends. There is no boundary. There is only just what's happening. But if we say it would be a software program, why cannot be what you say as well only be a concept? Well, it possibly is a concept to the mind. It can only be a concept until it's really obvious. But something might be provoked or touched by it, where it just goes, oh yeah, yeah, that's right. Or, oh, that's wrong. Doesn't really make any difference. Joe, consciousness. For some reason I had real hard work reading that word, consciousness. Raphael, you also have such a beautiful laugh. Oh, thank you, Raphael. Someone wrote to me the other day and said I had a fake laugh. So I stopped my comments. There's some nasty emails. Gratitude. GML. Yes, all of those things are life, and we can say, like giving, I understood. Why is it not that enough for me? Why do I see the war, for example, like a disgusting, horrible thing? Yeah, well, seeing the war as a disgusting, horrible thing is life seeing the war as a disgusting, horrible thing. And the sense of self thinks that it's me who sees it. War is disgusting and horrible. It is, it's appalling. For us humans, it's appalling. And then you might see a cat sitting at the window watching out there as if nothing's going on at all. But to us, it's appalling. But this is life being appalled. Why not? Why not? Well, it appears as everything. It appears as all things. What else can it be? I don't know if she's laughing at me or something she's reading.
Sorry.
It's terrible. Rick, the egoic, where is it? The egoic mode is clearly a sham. Who is being tricked? Anyone. It is a kind of a trick in a way. It's a kind of it's a kind of a fake reality. It's like a fake reality. It's like someone's put a virtual reality helmet on, and I can only see it from there. And when that's no longer there, it's just not there. It's not suddenly, wow, I'm enlightened, or wow, this is liberation. Even though it is wow, but it's not wow for that one. That one doesn't get anything. It's the end of getting anything. I do not want life to give me disgusting and horrible things. Objection. Yeah, nobody does. We move away from them. Unless you enjoy it, unless you're a bit of a psychopath. But usually we tend to move away from disgusting and horrible things. Try not reading the news for a week. Allow everything to be as it is, says Joe. Well, everything can only be what it is. No one can either allow it or not allow it. Allowing it makes no difference to what it is. You can still try not looking at the news for a week. Might feel a bit better. It's always bad news. The news is always bad. That's what the news is for. Frey. If the whole world would be without ego, would there still be war and crime? Right? Or would that mean game over if mankind is at the same time egoless? Then we would go to the next level. I don't know. That's the whole story. This is a story. It's all hypothetical. Hypothetically, I guess there wouldn't be any war, hypothetically speaking, if humans didn't have this sense of separation, and which can sometimes cause real desperation and real problems, and then people go to war, or people believe in something to fight for. But really, that's hypothetical, and really, it's just a story of the world. What would happen if people didn't have an ego? When there isn't really people anyway. This is the kind of hard thing that's hard to understand. It all is and it all isn't. Because it's all going to end for that one. Whatever next level would be. Well, this is it. This is it. Next level's just an idea. This is the only level. We do not reach anywhere as usual. No, we never do, GML, and this is because there isn't anywhere to reach, because it already is everything. I'm not here, I'm not a teacher. I'm not a teacher of how not to suffer. I don't have that capacity. I don't have skills like that, or want to, actually. What comes here and speaks is the joy of saying, wow, this is it, isn't it? It's amazing. It's amazing. All this time, there used to be someone living in this body looking for something else, thinking that there was something else, there was something wrong with Lisa, something wrong with this me. Has to find completion. Something has to happen, something has to be better. I have to be better. And all the time, it was just a dream. All the whole time. Rick, no one rakes up right. That's right. Not even the real me. No, there's no real me. Or is this supposed real me just another ego ploy? Yeah, it's another ego ploy. The real me. The real separate person who really has a real life and is separate from everybody. It's just another ploy, yeah. It's more free than that. It's really just free. It's not for anybody, it's freer. than having a real me that's somehow detached and somehow is above it all. That's just a story. There's nobody who's above it all and who's detached. It's way more profound than that. Do you have egoless friends? Yeah. Well, I wouldn't call them friends, but yeah. Yeah, I know, yeah. And I have friends who are also ego and sometimes not ego. And I have friends who also totally think they are a separate self. Doesn't matter here, it's irrelevant. I don't care. Something here that cares if someone feels like they're separate or not. Gmail. Just the half of it is amazing only. Yeah, the other half is terrible. You always forget about that. No, it's not true. I don't. I know that the world appears as terrible. I know that. I avoid the news because of it. I don't want to see those things. Because me seeing them, Lisa, the character of Lisa, watching the news of children being bombed or whatever, is not going to actually make a difference. Will make a difference, possibly, as Lisa buying a ticket to Syria and trying to actually help people. That's the only difference that could be made. It makes me feel terrible to see those things. But also that feeling terrible is part of life. It's part of life. The only suffering is the wanting to get away from the life. If so, do you experience it from different than being with the egomaniacs? Oh, I just answered it. No, there's no different. Doesn't make any difference. It's all because there isn't anybody. It's all just all the different human beings, and all. It's just wonderful. This stuff is really helping me. Oh, the fact that no one wakes up sort of pulls the rug from under the ego's game. Yeah, it really does, doesn't it? It really does. Bang. Yeah, it's freeing. It's freeing. But not for anyone, just freeing. Freeing doesn't have to have anyone feeling free. But why do you accept life if it is like this? I don't accept life. Life just is what it is. There's nothing here that accepts it or doesn't accept it. It's beyond that. That's a kind of oh, I'm going to accept it, I'll surrender to it. Oh, it's how it is. It's not like that at all. The character of Lisa is the character of Lisa. What she thinks and feels is the freedom. She is free. Ah, buenas noches, Rafael. This character, this body, this human is free to think and feel whatever is. There's not even anyone that allows it to happen or feels like, oh, at last I'm free to think and feel what I like. It's not like that. It's just free to do what it does. It's not suddenly some sort of enlightened guru that's all suddenly over it all and above it all. It's not. It's more immersive. It's totally immersive. The character now is totally immersed in life. It's part of the whole appearance. It's very intimate, the whole thing. Yes, you do. If you say so. I'm not going to argue with you about it. You're entitled to have whatever you think. But it's not like that here. The whole experience of life is totally intimate. All of it. Nothing is excluded from it. There's no sense of anything that wants to escape it or be immersed in it. It's totally beyond that. Is, for example, Eckhart Tolle believing in illusion? Believing in illusion? I don't know. Why am I not free? Well, you are freedom appearing as not being free. You are freedom appearing as feeling like you're not free. And there's no other way of putting it. I can't even remember what Eckhart Tolle talks about anymore. I used to read him a long time ago.
Being in the now.
In the now.
Now.
Oh, I don't have much time left. Okay, let's just answer these. Are we experiencing having sex, love, a moment? Are we experiencing having sex, love, a moment without ego? I don't really understand that. Can you just clarify that question, please? I mean, I think I know what you're saying. There are moments you'll even find throughout the day, during sex. Well, only if, well, it can happen that there's suddenly no sense of self and there's total immersion with the other during sex or during lovemaking. It can, but there can also be a very strong sense of self there as well. I mean, it doesn't really matter what the body's doing. But having sex, and especially when you're very much in love with that person, can be very freeing. Yeah, the sense of self can totally go, and you don't know whether you are you or you are the other. That sense of boundary can totally fall away if there's really a strong love or a strong passion there, for sure. Yeah. It also goes in deep sleep. It also goes during dream state sometimes. Well, often. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it can sure. Yeah, that can be. That's why people love it so much. It's so suddenly. That's why being in love is so enticing. You could lose that sense of you're totally in love and you're totally God. All you think about is the other. You stop thinking about myself and my story. Oh, it's just love, isn't it? Oh, you're welcome, Frey. Hope you're saying your name right. Well, I am going to go. That was really fun. And I hopefully will be here next week if I can get my internet fixed. Oh, my Google Hangout stops playing up so much. So thank you everyone for joining me, and hope to see you all soon. Lots of love. Bye. Mwah.